Welcome to a quick guide to group expectations. My name is Steve Egbert. I'm the program manager for Discovery Club in St. Paul Public Schools. I've been working in out-of-school time childcare for over 20 years. This quick guide to setting group expectations will give you 3 possible examples of ways that you could, with a group of children or youth, set expectations for the group. These are not the only ideas out there, and I would encourage you to discuss with your colleagues after this video if any of these ideas would work well in your setting, and if not, what would. A discussion guide is attached to this training as well. For programs using the Youth Program Quality Assessment Tool, the YPQA, setting group expectations would support the base of the pyramid, safe environment, in the psychological and emotional safety, and also support supportive environment, reframing conflict. For programs utilizing the social emotional learning PQA, setting group expectations also supports safe space and supportive environment. Why do we set group expectations? Firstly, everyone knows what's expected of them. The expectations are laid out for everyone in the space to follow. This allows children and youth to interact in the space with confidence. Group expectations also allow children and youth to self-monitor and take responsibility for their actions. Those who are struggling with behavior can be prompted to reflect on their actions. Lastly, this is an opportunity to build community in your group and provide a sense of ownership of the space and of the program. Children and youth who help create the expectations are better able to thrive in the environment. I will give a brief overview of 3 possible ways you can set group expectations. The first one is if you're using a shared space where the expectations or rules are already set. The second one is setting expectations using the above the line, below the line method. And lastly, if you're going to have your group create their own expectations. Perhaps one of these or elements of these will resonate with you, or perhaps these possibilities will prompt you to come up with another way to set group expectations. You may be in shared space where the expectations are already set and posted in the space. So imagine you're sharing space and the expectations are posted as be safe, be kind, and be responsible. Make some time to work with your group to come up with examples of what these rules mean. For example, be safe. In a brainstorming session, have the children or youth shout out ideas of what that means. It may mean walking, keeping hands to self, following directions. For be kind, you might hear things like give compliments, share, take turns, use correct pronouns. For be responsible, you might hear things like finish projects, clean up, do what you say you'll do. This will vary by the age as far as the examples that you'll get. It's often easy for the children or youth to come up with how not to be safe, kind, or responsible. But I would urge you to have the group define what they want from themselves and what they want from their peers and how they will follow the expectations. Write it down, post it in the space, have the group sign it, make it a contract. You can refer to it often. When leaving the space and heading to another activity, you can ask for an example of how the group will be safe, kind, and responsible in the next space. Another strategy for setting expectations is using above the line and below the line. To use this, you would have the group brainstorm what above the line and below the line behaviors are. Above the line behaviors would be the things you would want to see in the space. A lot of the examples we heard in the last slide, walking, hands to self, following directions, giving compliments, finishing projects, would all be above the line behaviors. Below the line behaviors are the things that are not acceptable in the space. Unkind words, pushing, hitting, getting out of turn, all of those possibilities. I would urge to have the positives outnumber the negatives if at all possible. Again, post this in the space, refer to it often. I'm seeing a lot of above the line behaviors. I see this, and give the example. When kids are struggling, you can ask, are we above the line or below the line? What do we need to do? And engage in a conversation. It's an easy reference point, and another possibility for a way to set expectations in the space. The last example I have to share with you is to have your group come up with their own rules. A collaborative project, a brainstorming session. Much like the other two examples I shared, have the group just brainstorm everything you can. All the things that they want to see happen in their group. What is acceptable in the space. And then I would urge you to once you get all the ideas out that you possibly can, sticking with the positives, then to group those ideas into 3 or 4 categories that are similar enough that you can come up with 3 or 4 expectations for the group. Keep them short, keep them simple. Much like the be safe, be kind, be responsible, if you can fit them into that, great. If you want to come up with your own, I worked at a job that had 3 rules for their employees. Care, work hard, and have fun. Whatever 3 or 4 you come up with, as long as it's defined for the group and the group understands, then that'll work. Once again, post it with the big expectation and the examples underneath, have the kids sign, and then refer back to it. When new children or youth join the group, onboard them. Have another child or youth in the group, share those expectations with them. If you're reviewing them enough, they'll get them either way. But be intentional. Setting group expectations is one of the first things you do with a group of children and youth, and it allows you to build relationships and do programming in the space. You can use one of the examples that I shared or seek out other methods. If you are interested, please refer to the Setting Group Expectations one-page discussion guide and bring back to your team. Find out what works best for you and the kids and children that you serve. Thanks very much.